Let's get started with today's math warm up. Today, you have a word problem for your warm up. It says, Jocelyn has 13 cookies. Santiago has 8 cookies. How many more cookies does Jocelyn have than Santiago? I would like for you to please pause this video and solve this word problem on a piece of paper. Then come back and we'll go over how to solve it. Let's go over how to solve this problem. First, we need to circle our numbers 13 and 8. Next, we need to underline the question. What are we trying to figure out? How many more cookies does Jocelyn have than Santiago? That phrase is a comparing problem phrase. How many more? So you're comparing how many more cookies does Jocelyn have than Santiago. To figure that out, you need to subtract. The equation that we're going to use is 13 minus 8. To solve this problem, I'm going to draw models. First, I'm going to draw 13 circles. I'm going to organize my circles like you would see them in a tens frame. 10 and 3 more to make 13. Next, I'm going to cross out 8 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These are the dots that I have left. Because I drew them in groups of 5 to make a tens frame, I know that there's 5 there, but I can go back and count them to double check. My answer is 5. Hi everybody, this is Miss Minton with today's math lesson. Today we are going to be starting a new topic on data. Let's take a look at our lesson objective. It says, I can record data using tally marks in a chart. In today's lesson, we are going to go over what is a tally mark, how do we use a chart to record data, and how to write about the data that we have recorded. First, let's talk about tally marks. You can record information using tally marks and a chart. Tally marks are a straight line. One tally mark counts for one object that you are counting. Here's an example of some tally marks. I have 1, 2, 3 tally marks on the screen. We can make groups of 5 with tally marks. Groups of 5 look like this. It has 4 vertical or up and down lines, and then the fifth line is diagonal and it crosses through to make one group of 5. Let's use tally marks to count the bears. As I cross out a bear, I will also put a tally mark down to keep track. Please count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Notice whenever I got to my fifth bear, I put one tally mark diagonally through the first 4 that I drew. That creates a group of 5. When I move on to my next bear, I'm going to go back to putting down straight lines. 6, 7. There are 7 bears on the screen. When I record this number using tally marks, it's one group of 5 and then 2 more marks. 5 and 2 more makes 7. We can record information using a chart. So the question at the top of the page says, how many bears are red and how many bears are green? We can record the data in a chart. Your tally chart would look like this. There's a section for red bears and a section for green bears. I can count the number of red bears and record that in my chart using tally marks. One, two, three, four. There are four red bears, so I'm going to put four tally marks next to the section that says red bears. Next, I can count and record the number of green bears. One, two, three. There are three green bears, so I'm going to put three tally marks next to where it says green bears. Next, I can write sentences to compare the number of bears. I can compare how many red bears I have to how many green bears I have. Take a look at the first sentence. It says, there are more blank bears than blank bears. I want to look at my chart. Which has more, the red bears or the green bears? Great job. There are more red bears than green bears. There are four red bears and three green bears. Four is greater than or more than three, so there are more red than green bears. I can also say the opposite. Take a look at the second sentence. It says there are fewer blank bears than blank bears. So the fewer bears goes in that first blank. Which one has fewer, green or red? Great job. There are fewer green bears because there are only three green bears compared to the four red bears. So there are fewer green bears than red bears. Today, for your assignment, you will complete two activities. Activity one is to ask your family members or your people at home or over the phone the following question. Which is your favorite season, summer, fall, or winter? Use their answers to make a tally chart in your math journal or on a piece of paper. Then ask them where they like to visit the most, the beach, mountains, or national park. Make a tally chart in your math journal for that information too. I have some examples of what your tally chart could look like at the bottom. On the left, I have one for which is the best season. On the right, I have one for which is your favorite place to visit. Complete the tally chart by asking people in your home or calling a family member or a friend and interviewing them and getting that information. You will record it in a tally chart. You will use this tally chart for the next activity. Activity number two is to complete the sentences at the bottom of the screen. You will count the total number of votes for each survey category. Then you will copy and complete the sentences below in your journal. The first sentence will be used to compare your answers for the first tally chart. Which season is your favorite? It says more people like blank. The word season is in parentheses there because you need to write the name of a season. Then they like blank. So, for example, yours could say more people like fall than they like summer. It depends on what's in your T chart, who has more. The second sentence is about your second tally chart. Fewer people like to visit blank than they like to visit the blank. Okay? It could sound like this. Fewer people like to visit the beach than they like to visit the mountains. It depends on what information and data you gather on your tally chart. So, for your assignment, you need two tally charts, and two sentences. One sentence to go with each tally chart. When you are finished, you can either type it into the text box on Canvas or take a picture of your work and upload it or send it to your teacher. Thanks, everyone, and I can't wait to see everybody's favorite season or their favorite place to visit.